I wanted to kind of have a year in review, right? President Trump started his second term in January. I want to know how you think he's doing. What do you think are some of the highlights here?
Well, I think some of the highlights are promises made, promises broken. Inflation still exists, gas prices still high, Thanksgiving prices not necessarily cheaper, though the administration wanted you to think it was because they left out some large items from that inventory list. And I think Americans who voted for him are disappointed. Epstein files still unreleased. And if they are released, incredibly redacted, 50 pages worth of redactions. And so, when I think of a highlight reel, I think of all of the disappointments that the Americans must be experiencing.
I want to talk about the economy because we saw in 2024 a large reason of why President Trump won is because more voters thought he was better at handling the economy than President Biden and then Vice President Kamala Harris. But now, at first, he was saying affordability is a hoax. It seems to be that he's changed his tune a little bit and told people to hold tight. But as we saw from the Biden administration, that didn't really work for them. I mean, what do you make of that messaging?
It's really hard to tell Americans hold tight when you're a billionaire. It's really hard to listen to the president of the United States tell you when it's a holiday season, maybe only buy a couple of gifts for your kids, and that's really rich coming from someone who is literally rich. And I think Americans have reason to take pause with that and have concerns with that. Affordability is a real issue. I still hear Americans who say they're living paycheck to paycheck. And guess what? High level paychecks, $100,000 or more, we're seeing statistics that is living paycheck to paycheck for a lot of people still. And you can think about, oh, well, people don't handle their finances. Well, let's not put the blame on the American people. People live in high, in metropolitan areas that are really expensive to live in. And that is a signal to the president of the United States, like, hey, if people are making $150,000 a year and they're still struggling, what does that mean for the rest of Americans? And the majority of Americans aren't even making that much. And so living paycheck to paycheck and affordability crisis, that is a thing. And I'm really tired of hearing this administration say, oh, this is just a Democrat hoax. Not everything is a Democrat hoax. You've been in office for nearly a year. At what point is it no longer Biden's issue but yours? And so I think that we have to be really careful about the things that we say when we're in positions of power, and when you have a press secretary who also doubles down and say, oh, I think the reason he was even voted into office in the first place because he is a billionaire who is a good businessman. Well, let's see all of that come true for the American people and use that business acumen that you allegedly have, even though you've corrupted several businesses, put in play for the Americans and help them in this time of struggle.
And I think that when the economy is good, right, everyone wants to take credit. Every president or the current president and even the past president would say something to the effect of, that's my economy, that's because of me. When people aren't feeling great about the economy, they want to distance themselves, right? And President Trump said something to the effect of, 11 months ago, I inherited a mess and I'm fixing it. I mean, at what point is it Trump's economy, do you think, in the eyes of the American people?
I think the American people squarely put the blame on Trump now. You can't say, like, to your point, 11 months, I inherited this economy. That would have been a speech that you stopped saying on the campaign trail, because on January 20th, when you are sworn into office, that is your economy, that is your situation that you have inherited, and you have to figure out how to fix it. Nearly a year in, and you're still blaming the administration prior to you. Americans aren't buying it. And then that's why Trump's approval rating has taken a tanking in the last few months, especially when it comes to the economy. That's why people voted him in large part, and also for the situation that we're having at our southern border and illegal immigration. And so when you have a president who isn't delivering on the economy, which it always comes down to, it's the economy, stupid, that is always going to be the top issue for American people. It doesn't matter if the president is signing all of these billion-dollar deals and saying, oh, hey, look, I'm fixing the economy. Look at all these corporations who are working hand in hand with me. What Americans feel is their pocketbooks, if they're able to afford to put food on the table, that is what is real. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want. Just as Biden said, we're on the up and up. It takes a while for people to feel that themselves in their pocketbooks. And in this moment, especially as we're heading into the holidays, Americans aren't feeling that the way that they have in the past.
And something that Republicans have said is, because of the big, beautiful bill, your tax refund checks, that's going to be bigger. I mean, do you think that that's going to make a difference here? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, I know that's the future. What do you think that really looks like?
Yeah, I hope that, he's at least able to deliver on this promise. Ask me in a few months after taxes, right? And we'll see what Americans are saying then. But I think what we've seen a lot from this president is a willingness to make promises he knows he's not going to be able to deliver on. And then when the time comes, hang on a little bit tighter. Oh, it's this economy that I inherited, rather than take accountability. When have we ever truly seen him take accountability? He is always doubling down on the things that he says or does, even when he is wrong. And in the moments when it is somebody else, he's putting the blame on them. I mean, even if we look at the tariff situation, it's putting tariffs in place. All these economists are suggesting and recommending and consulting and advising that he does not. Then he has an issue, just as everyone said he would. He pulls them back and says, look what I did. I saved the economy when you created that issue. And I'll make a quick anecdote here. It's the holidays right now. I was scrolling through Instagram as someone who is chronically online does on occasion, and I saw an old, I think it was Domino's pizza commercial, and it was with President Trump, then just Trump, right? And pizza for $5 a pizza from Domino's is being delivered to President Trump, then just New York businessman Donald Trump. And the guy goes to deliver. He's like, Mr. Trump, these are $5. He's like, each. He's like, no, how about this? I'll give you $5 each for this pizza. And the pizza guy says, okay, great, that's wonderful. It's trying to take credit for something that wasn't even his idea in the first place. So we can look back decades and see that that's sort of always been there. So anyway, that was just like a funny moment that I thought was very full circle at this time.